So, do you know how, like, you're watching a horror movie and the character is about to walk into the house where the murderous killer with the ski mask or the hockey mask is just waiting for them with the butcher knife in the basement? You're like, don't go in there! Whatever you do, don't do it! But they do it anyway, and it's awful, and you stop watching, you know. Well, I have the chatbot equivalent of a horror movie, and I found it on Reddit, and I really, really, really want to show it to you if you're not too scared. So let's go right into this, because this is terrifying. Finding AI chatbot for company. Which I'm like, oh okay, this sounds promising. Imaginary Army 3816. You're trying to find an AI chatbot for a company. Great. I don't know why you're doing this on Reddit, but okay. I'm looking to make a basic chatbot for a company to embed within their website. And this to me is like, oh no, this person, he, she, they, them, they're going right into the basement. They've been sent on a suicide mission. First of all, what is a basic chatbot? What does that even mean? It just means that they don't want any frills. They don't want anything. They don't want any personality. They just, you know, they want it embedded on their website, which is strange because this company or this brand has spent all this money, time, resources, and people in developing a brand identity, and they're about to throw it all away with this AI chatbot because this is basically the first point of contact for customers with the brand. And instead of it being a delightful experience in which they learn about all of the brand's offering in the brand's voice, they're going to find an AI chatbot that was made by a college student it was probably found on Fiverr for a few bucks. So let's keep on going because this thing is just absolutely terrifying. So now it needs to be on their website. Great. Now the chatbot needs to have the context of a number of technical documents for how to use as a software, and nothing is more fascinating, interesting to talk to than a technical document. I don't know how many times, you know, I've just been bored and I'm like, you know what, I wish there was a technical document that I could talk to. I mean, all joking aside, like, you have to make a chatbot that people will want to interact with. No one's going to want to interact with a series of technical documents. I mean, it's basically what you're asking them to do is to make a search. So just make a search. Why do you need a chatbot here? That's the question. Why do you need a chatbot if it's just going to be a bunch of technical documents that it's going to be reading off? Ugh, this just gets scarier with every single line. It gets more and more frightening. So I have a folder, great, containing these how-to documents as HTML files. Ideally, I want to be able to upload these documents to the chatbot so the chatbot can reference and cite the information from them when replying to customers. Okay, great. So if I understand correctly, what we have here is a very basic chatbot that is comprised of HTML file documents, of how-to, and also of technical documents. So basically, this is a technical how-to chatbot, which is probably not going to be able to understand, based on this person's understanding of chatbots, it's probably not even going to be able to understand what people are saying to it. It's going to ask them to repeat themselves a lot. It's going to say, sorry, I don't understand what you mean. You want to read one of these technical documents? And it's going to be an awfully scary, frustrating, terrible experience for anybody who happens to somehow make it to this website. And so this brand is thinking, well, we're going to save a few dollars by not going through the trouble of researching this thing, understanding what kind of chatbot we need, understanding what the purpose of the chatbot is. What we're going to do is we're going to dive right in with that basic chatbot, because it's so easy these days, you know, just ChatGPT it, you know, let's just do it. Just ChatGPT, go to the ChatGPT store and just make it. So, and this is the sentence I think this is the killer right here. This chatbot would be an initial stopping point for a customer before contacting the support team. No, this is going to be a stopping point, but it's not going to be, well, it is the initial stopping point, that's true, but it's also going to be the final stopping point, because there's no one that's going to continue on to support after this is what, like, this is ridiculous. There's no way anyone is going to want to talk to support after going through this type of experience where they're just like, the chatbot's like, what? Excuse me? Can you repeat that? Can you say that again? I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Do you want to read one of these technical documents? Oh, you want to talk to a support agent? Okay, let me just forward your information. What's your email and your phone number, and I'll get back to you. So this is, if you spend all this time and effort, if you spend all the resources trying to build up your brand, and you put this at the front door, you've got problems, and that's not the way to do it. And that's how you create a terrible, terrible, terrible chatbot experience, and that's how you And this poor imaginary army, this user, that posted this, has to go ahead and create this thing, which is it's destined to fail from the beginning. So I feel sorry for them. Okay, so this chatbot also needs to be easily embeddable in a website. Fair enough. Which is strange because like this thing is also going to have to communicate with social media channels, because I'm sure this brand is also on Facebook, they're on Twitter or X or whatever. They're also going to be on, you know, other places, maybe TikTok, I don't know. So is the brand voice going to be different on the website than it is going to be on social media? So there's a lot of questions here that I need to ask, okay? And so this person is, are there any AI chatbots out there that best achieve this functionality? Okay, and then the final sentence is, I'm asking because there's so many options out there and it is somewhat overwhelming. I'm hoping that you guys have an answer. Okay, stop. You shouldn't be asking us questions. You. Imaginary Army 3816. These are questions you should be asking to the awful people that sent you to the basement of the house, okay? You need to ask them, why do we even need a chatbot? Okay, can't they just search for these technical documents? What's the purpose? What's the voice of this chatbot? I know it doesn't have to be funny. I know it doesn't have to be humorous, but what is, like, how do you guys talk? What's the voice of the brand that I'm going to try and replicate through this chatbot? What happens if it asks questions outside the scope of the technical and how-to documents? What should be the response then? How should we be handling that? Is there any other information I can get about what you want to achieve? What is considered success for this chatbot within, you know, are there any current logs or transcripts or you see what I'm getting at here. Basically this thing is it's a suicide mission, and the person who was sent on this suicide mission is going to create something awful, and that something awful is going to live on some company's website. And yeah, and that's the horror story. So if this is you and you find yourself being tasked with what appears to be a suicide mission into the basement, before you go into that basement, before you do that, ask the person sending you some questions. Some hard-hitting questions. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be antagonistic about it, but you want to find out so that you can better create this basic chatbot. What are the requirements? What are, also, I mean, I'm not even going to get into the technical thing here. Like, is this thing going to be connected to some kind of CRM? Is there going to be any other type of integration with this chatbot? If so, is this person also in charge of all that? So, in short, scary stuff, okay? And this is the reason why we have terrible chatbots and we have such a bad reputation as conversation designers and chatbot developers, is because of this. Cool. All right. That's been me with my scariest story of the day, and I will see you in the basement.